Welcome back. Yes, the holidays will look a little bit differently this year, but how do you explain it to the little ones? A new book, Santa in a Snow Globe, helps start the conversation. Joining us via Zoom this morning is author A.H. Edelman. Good morning.
Good morning, Leanne.
Thank you so much for joining us and helping us through this kind of difficult subject. So kids already know, as we said, something is up right now. So how is your book going to help them this holiday season?
Well, I think the book helps both the children and the parents, grandparents, caregivers by giving them a way into what's up. Kids know they basically sat out the summer, and Thanksgiving is going to look a little different, and Christmas as well. And this really helps explain to them what's up and how to handle it in some ways. There's some good advice in there, and it really is. It's basically topical subjects wrapped up in a really classic, hopeful Christmas story.
And of course, kids want to know.
That's what we were trying to achieve.
Kids want to know, is Santa going to come? So yes, you can explain Santa will come this year, but we also need to keep in mind it's not always about the tangible things this time of year, right?
Right. I think it's very important, especially with so many people who are out of work or are furloughed. There's less money in general, and I have to say, I don't think it's a bad thing to tell kids that it's not just about the presents. And I think it's important for grown-ups as well, that the level of expectation doesn't need to be so much about stuff. You can bring mommy breakfast in bed. You can do something nice for daddy. You can do something nice for your sibling. It doesn't always have to translate into, how much money you spend for something. So I think it's very important to keep that in mind, especially these days when things are tough on a lot of people.
And one of the takes on all this is we're all in this together underneath the same big sky. So what do you mean by that?
Well, there's so much division these days. It's, we can't even agree that wearing masks, is the right thing. There's a lot of division. And I have to say, even within my family, people are on different sides. But I think that keeping in mind that, loving each other and finding common ground is so very important. It's just very important these days. I think it's possible, probably because I'm such a believer in Christmas and Christmas miracles. But I do believe it's possible to get to a point where people can at least have a conversation. And, again, I think the book is a very a good way into doing that by, reading it to your kids, having your kids read it on their own.
Let's go ahead and talk about that book and where people can get it.
People can get the paperback and the ebook on Amazon. We're really big supporters of indie bookstores, but the book was turned around so quickly that we weren't able to get, because they do their ordering back in April. So they can get the hardcover on the website, www.santainasnowglobe.com. But the paperback and the ebook they can get on Amazon. And I also want to mention the illustrator happened to be an old friend of mine, but he also, his work's been featured in the New Yorker and the New York Times. So he's pretty well thought of as well. So
wonderful. Yeah, I love the illustrations. Thank you so much for doing this for everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for having me this morning.
Our pleasure. We'll be right back.